Hi everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing the Camp Trail Vest Lite. It's one of my favourite running packs, so I'm just going to go through some of the features that I like about it, what attracted me to it, and why I think it's so good. So this is what's called a vest pack, which basically means, I'll show you if I put it on, the way it's designed, it fits more like a vest than a traditional rucksack. So you've got these big broad straps coming down and curling all the way around, joining up to the back. So you've got no sort of shoulder straps and hip belt, it's all sort of joined into one, and when you clip those two straps together it fits like a vest more than a pack, so it just sort of hugs the body around. And recently I've used a couple of these types of packs and I'm completely sold on them. They fit much better, they're much more comfortable, they carry load much better, they're much more balanced when you're running, so that idea I completely like. This pack does come in different sizes, and the way I found out my size was I just sort of emailed the customer services at camp with sort of my chest measurements and height and back length, and they suggested a size for me, and the size they suggested was a size small. I am about 6 foot with a 38-inch chest and a 19 or 20-inch back length, but it's mainly about the chest measurement, sort of the width around here, so that you don't get too much room under there. You get one too big and it's not too tight because there's no adjustment in these straps, but they suggest a small and it fits great. You've got some adjustment within these straps across the chest, and they have a neat sort of buckle which you have to flick up to release, and then you can move them. So once you flick it down it locks into place really quite securely and it can't come undone easily. This one is elasticated on this side and this one is solid, and they both have the same buckles which you just flick and adjust and snap back down. Same at the top. This one side is non-adjustable, this one is adjustable with a small whistle attached to it. Whistles are often a mandatory part of a kit list in races, so it's nice they've included one to the pack itself, and it can be removed if you don't want it there. On the buckles themselves you'll notice these sort of red toggles, and the idea behind these is that if you just pull these with one hand it will snap open, and it's basically just it's sort of the red plastic toggle connected with some string to this buckle, so that when you pull it, it squeezes it together and then releases it. And this is really good if you've got cold hands or you're wearing thick gloves in the winter and you want to release. You don't have to fiddle around trying to find the buckle, just grab the big red thing and pull, and you're done. Same on the top, easy, one-handed. One of the best things I think about vest packs, and this pack in particular, is the amount of front storage. You've got all these pockets on the front that you can access while you're running for sort of hydration and nutrition, so you don't need to stop. And you've got 2 bottle pockets. This is a 500ml bottle which fits in really easily. Gets swallowed up completely. And this, as a demonstration, this is a 710ml bottle, and that is what I would consider sort of the optimum size for these pockets. A 700 or 750ml bottle would be perfect. And the only sort of downside I found to this sort of system is that with rigid bottles that sit sort of against your rib cage, after a while, a few hours, they can sort of rub a bit and bruise slightly, just sort of the hard plastic against your ribs where you've not got much sort of cushioning against the bone. They can cause some problems like that, but overall it's not really an issue. And bottles on the front are generally great, especially for races. You can see how much you've got left if you need to top up at the aid station, and it's much easier to top up than the bladder at each aid station. If you don't want to use bottles, then this acts as great sort of storage. Hats and gloves, you've got loads of room in there, you could fit a light jacket in there or just food, and you've got a drawstring closure at the top to seal them off. Apart from that, you've got 2 identical pockets above the water bottle holders, both with zips and slightly elasticated fabrics as well as gusseted, so they will open up quite a bit, and plastic toggles on the zips so you can easily grab them again with one hand. Gloves, not a problem. And these will fit a few gels or something. You might get a mobile phone in there if you've got a small phone, but most phones nowadays will be too big for those pockets. So 3 gels easily, and they're easy to hand. Whenever I want one, I can just unzip, grab one, zip back up. Really useful. So that pocket is the same on both sides, same size, same zip. And then just below the bottle holders, you've got side pockets. These again identical on each side, same zip with a plastic toggle. Easy to open one-handed, and these are much larger. Fit 5 or so gels in there, and the green section that you can see is a nylon, and the black is a sort of lightly elasticated mesh, so there is some sort of expandability there if you want. So plenty of room in there. It will also fit a phone if your phone is small enough. Again, there you go, nice and easy. Just behind the right hand pocket, although hard to see, there is a small opening. You can just see that silver toggle pull tab there. There is sort of an opening just into behind the pocket, in between the back of the pocket and the fabric of the strap. There's access to that space. Very small opening, so you won't fit much in there, and it won't be easy to get things in and out. But I suppose for maybe empty wrappers and things, you could push them in there and they would be out of the way. It's not closed or anything, so it is open. No velcro or zip for that. I've not used it. I tend to use one of the other pockets for wrappers and things, but you could use that if you wanted. It's only on the one side, so not on this side. So that's more or less the front storage capacity. Just to touch on again a few of the materials used. The green sort of nylon, ripstop nylon, it feels fairly durable. This black section on the water bottle pockets is a fairly stiff, quite robust, tough feeling material, sort of dual layered, and this does hold its shape quite well without sort of flopping over, so when you take the bottle out it stays as sort of a tube and you can drop the bottle straight back in without too much faff. And the other black parts are just slightly stretchy mesh. At the bottom of the bottle pockets you've got mesh again, it's supposed to let any water out. And the fabric of the shoulder straps themselves is a very open, non-stretchy, but sort of just a grid mesh, which I'll show you a close-up of. And it's the same material used all the way around the shoulder straps. A very open, breathable mesh. Not the softest to touch, but very breathable, like I said. You can see easily right through it. The back panel is slightly stiffened. You've got a piece of material down the middle here which offers some support to it, but it's generally quite flexible, but it will sort of stand up by itself. And you've also got the open mesh in the corners, and the black is a slightly more padded traditional mesh. So moving on to the rear storage of the pack. Again, similar materials. You've got the green ripstop nylon and the black parts are stretchy mesh. So the main pocket, which is accessed by this single zip down the middle here, does have stretchy sides, so it is sort of expandable and will contract if you've not got it completely full. But that's fairly big. The pack has a 10 litre total capacity. I don't know if that includes just this pocket or this pocket and the bladder compartment and the pocket on the front, but either way this is usually plenty big enough for me. I can stuff in an extra layer. Waterproofs waterproof trousers. A waterproof jacket. A first aid kit and survival blanket, and I've still got room for torch, phone, camera, another layer, etc. It all packs up nicely. Nice, neat, streamlined profile. I'll just show you with it on. So it sits really nicely, and that's basically everything I need as a just in case, and everything I need while I'm on the go can be had at the front, in the front pockets. That I really like, and there's plenty of space in here for everything I need for a long day running or an ultra marathon. If things like mandatory kit lists will need waterproofs, extra layers a lot of the time, head torch, compass, first aid kit, etc. There's plenty of space for that in there, and it's all easy accessed by this main zip down the middle, which it's a water resistant zip. I'm not entirely sure why, because you've got these big panels of very open mesh on the side which do just let the water in, but I suppose it possibly keeps the dirt out of the zip. That's again fairly easy to open. You've got a pull tab at the bottom which you can hold with one hand, or you zip it up again with the other. Inside the main compartment you have two pockets at the top which are velcroed and fairly big. You could fit a phone in them probably, and I normally put keys in them, and I've not had any problems with those. The velcro does hold them quite securely, and they're positioned at the top so they're sort of easy to access. You don't need to zip all the way down to the bottom and pull everything out to get at them. Just behind the main pocket you have the space for a water bladder. It's a fairly big space, and it's sort of independent of the main compartment, so even if you got this full, we'll still have space in there for a water bladder. Or you can use this as extra storage for equipment and clothes and things if you need it and are not carrying a bladder. And a velcro loop at the top for attaching the bladder to stop it sliding down. Otherwise fairly simple. You've got routing for the hose under there, and elastic straps on the shoulder straps to hold it in place. A haul loop at the top. Another feature of this pack which is quite unique and really sort of drew me to it is the trekking pole holding system. So if I show you with these trekking poles, which are very lightweight folding trekking poles, which sort of work best with this system. These particular ones are made by Camp as well. There's a few companies that do them, and basically the way they work, or the way they work best, is if you have a really thin handle like this. So if you have a big handle with loads of sort of ergonomic grip, it might not fit, just to bear in mind, but try it out if you can. But these certainly work fine. So the way they work is if you grab your two poles, all fold them up, grab them in one hand and have all the handles and ends at one end and all the sort of join ends at the other end. So you want to take this end and find this pocket here, which is attached at the bottom of the pack, and basically just put all the ends in there. And this is a lot easier when I can see what I'm doing, a lot harder when I'm in a race and it's the first time I've done it and the wind and the rain is going on. But anyway. So you then get the elastic, which is on the other side, and wrap it around the top of the poles. And one thing I found out is that you want to make sure that you obviously get every section of the pole so nothing slips out. and make sure you keep at least one of the mud baskets, these bits here, on this side of the elastic. So if I show you, if I put both sides on this side of the elastic, then it can slide out and it will sort of bounce out. So keep the mud baskets, at least one, with the elastic on the inside, and it will hold it in place. And another point, if you're using the poles without mud baskets, it might not work so well. They might bounce free as you're running, but otherwise, if you can get the elastic on this side of the mud basket, it will hold it in place, sort of push these ends into the pocket, and they won't be able to slide out, and it'll hold it in place, and you can run and it'll be fine. So the other quite unique way of storing the poles is if you have 2 or 1 poles and you have them elongated and fixed in length, then while we're in the pack, I'll demonstrate without, so you can put the ends in the pocket there, the same pocket used before, and this is where the slim handles come in useful, because you won't get 2 big handles in there. And so you want to find that pocket, but you also need to thread it through this red cord, which is situated in the bladder compartment. So you need to thread it over your back through the red cord, down into the pocket, so that it's standing upright. You got the red cord there and the end in the pocket, and then you just pull on the loose end of the red cord and it holds it in place. So you can see at the top there, I'm not holding the pole at all. You've got one end in the pocket and it's sort of holding it in place, stop it falling sideways, and the pocket is stopping it from falling down. And this is used if you just want to stow them away quickly for a short section, sort of a downhill, there's another uphill coming up, so you just want to stow them quickly, just slide them over your shoulder, find the pocket, pull the cord, and they're held in place. They'll stick vertically up above your head, but they're fine, they're out of the way, as long as you're not going under low hanging trees. And you can run like that with them and they'll be secure, as long as you make sure to tighten the red cord properly. And then once you're done, just loosen the red cord, which runs through a cord lock, and pull them out, and away you go. So really innovative, unique trekking pole storage features on the pack. And I'm not much of a trekking pole user when running, but certainly for the longer races, it's definitely something I want to consider, and it's nice having the options, especially with sort of poles as light as this. They don't take up much space, they're easy to stow away, there's no faff with this. Well, no faff, it takes a bit of getting used to, so definitely practice doing the different techniques to put the poles away, and you should be fine. If you want to use traditional poles, you have an elastic at the top on the same side as the elastic you used for the first method, so you can just store them as you would normally poles. But if you want to use lightweight folding poles, then you've got the option of putting them across the bottom, which those folding poles can often be quite difficult to find places for, especially in lightweight running packs. So it's nice they've thought of an innovative system which doesn't take up much space or weight and works really well. So that's pretty much it for the Camp Trail Vest Lite. It's pretty much my go-to pack for longer events, longer sort of ultra marathons and long days out on the hill. I can carry all the kit I need, all the water, all the food, and it carries it really comfortably. Like I said, well balanced between the weight on the front and the weight on the back, and I can carry it all day and barely feel it's there. Great features, easy to use, well thought out. I really like the pack. So if you've got any questions about it, just leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And thanks for watching.